All right, back here at UWM Live on Good Better Broker. And we are with Michelle Dugan of MS Lending, and she is out of Madison, Mississippi. Michelle, how are you?
I am well. Hey, Justin. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's always great to see you. How about UWM Live, year 2?
So I was not able to make it out last year. I actually got COVID right before. So I'm here, and it's huge. Like, I did not realize that there were going to be this many people here. And to see this many people showing up to invest in themselves and their business is really impressive, especially in the market that we're in right now.
Yeah, the broker community is going strong.
Yes,
That's for sure.
yes.
As for you, the number one UWM broker in the state of Mississippi, congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
And, you've got some really cool ways that you go about your business that I want to ask you about, starting with how you approach both your borrowers and your realtors. And you were here a few months ago and we talked about this. You want to make sure that everybody feels like they are seen and heard throughout the loan process. How do you do that?
Honestly, I think it's just a matter of quick communication. Like when people reach out, I'm going to answer my phone. I'm going to respond to texts. I'm going to respond to emails because people want you to be accessible. When they have questions, they want to get answers. Nobody's just reaching out to their mortgage broker for no reason at all. I mean, once you become friends, which is always our goal throughout the process, then yes, they can. But usually if they're reaching out, they have a question, they have a concern, and you don't want to let that linger, because the longer it lingers, then it's like there's more opportunity for them to either reach out to someone else or reach out to someone and get bad advice or bad information, so it's always we just like to stay in front of them as quickly as possible. That way they know, oh, hey, if I reach out to Michelle, she's going to respond. When one of their friends is buying a home, they're going to say, hey, you have to call Michelle. She's amazing. That's our goal with every single transaction.
I know another big priority for you is over communicating. How do you go
Yes.
about that with both borrowers and referral partners?
Yeah, so we actually set up an automated program within our company so that with every step in the transaction, it's going ahead and it's shooting them an email to let them know what's going on. Like appraisal was ordered, appraisal was received, loan is in underwriting, loan's been approved with conditions. These are the conditions you need. The appraisal's in. This is the value. We're just constantly sending these out to them, and what we found happens is that yes, it's an automated system, so it automatically fires out when we update these milestones throughout the process, but it kind of cuts down on them reaching out to us with the questions like, hey, have you ordered the appraisal? Well, they know we already ordered it because they got the email right away as soon as the appraisal was ordered. So it's funny because we're over communicating, but they're not responding back to us every single time. But what it's done is it's cutting down so much more communication that's coming into me, so that the communication that I'm actually having with them when we are texting, it's building more of the relationship. They're not asking the little menial questions throughout the process. It's hey, you said your son had a soccer game last night. How'd that go? And it's really establishing the true heart of the relationship instead of just the little stuff got this, got that, title works in. But when we're sending them out and they're constantly getting the updates, they're not calling as much. We're not getting the after hours text calls, emails and stuff, because they know they don't have to wonder and they don't have to worry about where everything is in the process.
So we know you embrace technology, but you're also a little bit old school in the respect that you love to send handwritten notes.
Yep.
What
Yep.
has been the feedback on those?
Honestly, people love them. So we all get way too many emails every day. We just live in this digital world, right? And going back to the old school, sending out these handwritten notes and sending out the thank you cards, and they're very personal. So when they go out, it's hey, we know you have a choice in who you work with for your mortgage, and we really appreciate you putting your trust in us. And it's just, it's not just it doesn't sound canned, I guess. And people like them. I mean, people actually open their mail these days because our junk mail in the mailbox has minimized so much because everybody's just doing it via email. And so when they get an actual card in the mail, then they're oh, wow, they open it up and they actually read it. Whereas a lot of mortgage stuff, some of it's going to just go straight into their, spam or junk folder, and they may never see it. But they've liked it. People reach out. I mean, I get texts and calls all the time hey, we got your card. Thank you so much. But it's just one more thing. It's just one extra little touch. So, when somebody submits that application, and it auto fires out, these handwritten cards, to them. It's just one more little thing, so that if somebody does get, if they get a trigger lead, like, it's going to make us stand out from, the guy that's halfway across the country just trying to like poach on them to get their loan. And I had no idea that like one little handwritten card could make such an impact, but it does, and the customers really like it.
Yeah, I've yet to meet anybody who does not appreciate a handwritten note, especially like you said, in this digital age we are in.
Right.
Something else about you. Last we talked, about 40% of your business was VA.
Yes.
Any tips to share with our listeners on those loans?
Gosh, you know what? I'm so incredibly passionate about VA loans. Like, I feel like these veterans have gone out, and like these active duty military, like they sign up to give literally their life for our country. So the least that we can do is help them have a home of their own on U.S. soil. And, the VA program, there's so many people that are scared of it because it's very simple. And so in that simplicity, they kind of shy away from it because there's not 8,000 different pages of stuff, but like really learning these VA product, like just learning the VA product, knowing what you can and can't do, it's been huge for my business. And just being able to like communicate with these veterans, tell them what they're eligible for. Most of them, when they're getting like out of the military and they're retiring, or if they're, done serving, like they go through like a 30-minute little thing, and they're like, hey, by the way, you have these VA benefits. And there's so many veterans that never use their benefits. There's so many veterans that think that they can only use it one time. And so it's just become like kind of the passion project for me to be able to give back to them, because like I didn't serve. You're not gonna find me out in the field shooting big guns and stuff, but like the least that I can do is help them and their family have a home after all that they've given. And any lender that's out there doing mortgages, if you don't know VA, like learn it. There's so many great programs and organizations out there that'll help teach it, and it's just such a great tool to have.
Yeah,
So.
very, very admirable of you to take that stance,
Thank you.
serving our veterans. I remember when you were here a couple of months ago, you said you were having success switching some of your borrowers from conventional to FHA. Is that still a thing?
So, I think as rates start to come back down, we might not do it quite as much, but on some of my borrowers, once they went in and they, all the mortgage insurance premium stuff changed this year, it was actually putting them into a lot, they were getting a lot lower payment and rate by going FHA instead of conventional. So most of these borrowers, since we know they're going to be refinancing anyway, it's like, save that money, keep it in your pocket. Homes are still appreciating at like this rapid rate. And I give them the choice. I tell them the pros and cons, but when most people are only keeping a mortgage, 2, 3, maybe 5 years, and we know they're going to refi, like for most of them, we're still doing it. They're still loving it. And because for a lot of people, like yes, they know that they want their mortgage payment to be X amount, but then when you show them the rate and it's like, oh, well, you can have this rate and it's going to be 7%, or you can have this rate and it's going to be 6.25%, there's just something mentally about it that they're like, oh, I want the 6.25, even if the payment it may even be the same, but they just want that lower rate, and so we're helping them get it. Obviously, FHA is not going to work for everything or every scenario, and then there might be a little bit of pushback just from some agents. Thankfully, in our market, I know a lot of the people that I work with, and I'll call them and say, hey, they're super strong borrowers. It's just going to give them a better payment if we switch them over to FHA. Is that going to be cool with you and the sellers? And 9 times out of 10, it's not a problem at all. So, yeah, they're liking it.
Well, you are doing great stuff down there in Mississippi. We appreciate you joining us. Have a great time the rest of the event, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Justin. Thanks for having me. Great to see
Michelle
you.
Dugan, yes, from MS Lending.
Bye, y'all.